Welcome!
Hello.
Good to see you.
Hello. I'm Dee Cool.
I'm Lewis Moon.
And this is...
Dr. Who Time and Space.
Good. What do we have on this week's show then, Mr. Moon?
Well, we have our main article, which is I'll Judge My Tenure on 7th Doctor, who you might know as actor Sylvester McCoy.
We have a review of the Shakespeare Code.
Yeah. We look at some news.
We'll be doing a Who to Face.
And also, we'll be pressing the magic button randomizer. Oh, and also we'll have some fun facts.
Oh, fun facts, eh?
Chat to you about.
Fun facts, eh? Right, well, let's start off with the news then. We've got a lot to get in the show today,
Yes,
so we better
yes.
kick straight off with the latest happenings in the Whoniverse.
Now, it's quite a slow week this week in news, really, up to yesterday.
Okay.
And today. Stephen Moffat will continue on for Series 10 of Doctor Who, according to an article at Wales Online. In a brief interview with the showrunner, they concluded the piece with, having just signed up for another year of Doctor Who, and with the ongoing success of Sherlock, Moffat's place in the TARDIS of broadcasting in Wales looks secure. And for that, we really can be very grateful. Of course, it's not official, but it doesn't seem unlikely. Moffat previously stated that he isn't having any trouble coming up with ideas, and his more recent interview with Dawn didn't seem to indicate that Series 9 would be his last. Is that good news for you?
It's very good news.
Yes, it is, yeah.
I mean, I think the only thing I would say about it is I was thinking back to an interview with him some time back, and you'll probably remember when it is more than me, but he made the comment, something along the lines of, we're nearer the end than the beginning.
Oh, yes, that.
Now, I can't remember when he said that, but does that mean he was wrong?
Yeah. Because, yeah. Did he say that at Series 8?
I think it was before that. I think it was, I thought we was sort of middle of Series 7 sort of time he said that.
That means we are halfway through it.
Yeah, I think he was just lying.
Because he's only just signed up for Series 10, apparently.
Yeah.
What? I know it's a bit far ahead, but what do you think? Do you think Series 10 will be his last?
I struggle to see him doing too many more series, just because it's probably for the best for any series to have a swap and a change every now and then.
Matheson?
Yeah, he'd certainly be my choice based on the stories in the last episode, the last series. But who knows? I guess when we get the feeling that the episodes are too of a similar style, then maybe it'd be time to move on. And I think when we do move on, like, I really love the dark edge that we've got with Moffat, and particularly that's coming to the fore with Peter Capaldi. But when we do get a new Doctor and a new showrunner, I probably want it to be a bit more light-hearted again, just for a bit of light and shade.
But I think Stephen Moffat should. My thing is, I think Stephen Moffat should stay until Peter Capaldi leaves, because I think some showrunners may get a light-hearted edge. Definitely, if Mark Gatiss or Gareth Roberts became showrunner.
Yeah, it will depend, won't it? I mean, we were watching bits of what was the one that we had on? That was on the telly in the background. End of Time, yeah, and it wasn't a randomised one. It wasn't one we were intending to watch. It was just on in the background, and it had a lot of what I'd say are typical Russell T Davies traits.
Yeah, because like Doomsday with Rose, it was a long bit a long farewell scene.
Yeah,
and it was a nice farewell scene, but it was a bit too long.
And I said to you, didn't I, when we got to the regeneration scene, which went on for 25 minutes or something, and I said, you can see why when Moffat dealt with the regeneration from Matt Smith to Peter Capaldi, it was a real quick one, and I wonder whether that was, in many respects, a complete slap in the face to that really long previous regeneration we'd had.
Yeah.
Because that would have been the first regeneration that Moffat dealt with, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would have been.
So I think he took it far more to how it was in the old days, because they were quite quick affairs, really.
There
weren't
were.
they?
Are there any which have big lead-ups?
I don't think so.
Definitely not the Colin Baker one, because it's just boom.
Yeah.
30 seconds in time with Rani, then he's regenerated.
Yeah.
You don't know how or why.
Yeah.
When?
When? Yeah. Indeed. So yeah, I think that was probably more akin to the classics. But anyway, that wasn't what we were going to be talking about at all.
No, we just went on the
tangent, didn't we? Any more news, sir?
Yeah. There's reportedly going to be a big cliffhanger for Series 9 Zygon 2-parter, which, if you listened to last week's show, and if you're a Whovian, then you would definitely know about this news, about the Zygon 2-parter, and we talked a little bit about it last week, didn't we?
Can I just butt in there?
Yeah.
Can I tell you what I think is the best cliffhanger in Doctor Who history?
What?
The one where the Seventh Doctor's hanging on by his umbrella.
Oh no!
Because he's on a. Because he's hanging from a cliff.
Oh no, that's terrible.
He's hanging from a cliff, though.
No.
It's a cliffhanger.
That's from Sylvester McCoy's first series, and that's his worst. That's the worst series ever.
But we'll come back to that later.
Yes, we'll come back to that.
But that's a cliffhanger and a half.
So writer Peter Harness has talked. No, don't go away from this. It's gone away from it. There. Writer Peter Harness has talked a little about his upcoming 2-parter for Series 9 and promised a big cliffhanger. Speaking to Digital Spy, he said, "It's a bit unbelievable to be bringing the Zygons back again, and also Osgood as well, another fan favourite." He adds, "It's a privilege to be telling a story about those two. And I think it's quite an exciting story as well. Unfortunately, I've got 2 fan favourites in my hands now, which can only set me up to disappoint people." He concludes, "I tried to do the biggest cliffhanger I possibly could."
I think this is great news, though.
I do.
Firstly, great news that the Zygons coming back.
Yes.
Great news to have Osgood back. Great news to have cliffhangers back.
Yes.
So all in all, I'm really looking forward to it.
This series is going to be great because it's got all of the things you want. Missy, Zygons, Osgood, Unit, 2-parters.
Yeah.
And lots more.
I was reading some of the comments on Doctor Who TV that sit underneath that article.
Yeah.
And I was surprised at how negative some of the comments were about Peter Harness's writing. Because I don't know, it seems that like a lot of people really didn't like Kill the Moon. Personally, I found it quite a different episode. I thought it had a good atmosphere to it.
Well. We watched it together, didn't we?
Did, yeah.
It was a good episode.
Yeah.
I've got a friend which has a theory. Yeah. They said the other week we had the titles for that Maisie Williams story out, The Girl Who Died and the Woman Who Lived.
Yeah.
He said Osgood, because she died, she could be the girl who died and the woman who lived because she came back in this story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that story then lead on to this one?
I don't. Well.
In terms of order.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
See, that could be right, couldn't it? Interesting theory.
Yes, it is. What more do you think about this bit of news?
It's just that actually. I mean, it's probably the episode I'm now looking forward for the most.
Yeah, me too. But it will probably soon change until we get news about episodes 9 and 10.
Yeah.
Which we don't have any news about that yet.
And so we don't have any more news about any new episodes or anything at all.
No, we don't, because they're only filming episodes 7 and 8 at the moment, I think.
Okay.
Because I've seen a picture earlier in the week with Osgood with a Sylvester McCoy question mark collar.
Oh, right, okay. Well, that's interesting.
And she had a scarf on in Day of the Doctor, and she had a bow tie on in Death in Heaven.
Right.
So it's harking back to all the Doctor's famous thing.
Mm. So, yeah. Who knows? What would you have to wear to go back to William Hartnell? A cape, yeah.
Yes.
Maybe that's what we'll get then.
Cape.
So, any more news?
It's been revealed that Doctor Who will have its own level pack in LEGO Dimensions.
So what does that mean?
LEGO Dimensions is an action-adventure video game developed by Traveller's Tales that merges physical brick building with interactive gameplay. This game will fuse many fan-favourite universes together, including DC Comics, Lord of the Rings, the Lego Movie, Wizard of Oz, Lego Ninjago, Back to the Future, and many more still to be announced. LEGO Dimensions is due for release late September 2015 on Xbox 360, Xbox One, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, and Wii U. Now, we had that news earlier in the year that we were going to have Doctor Who LEGO, didn't we?
What made this mean more? And I know this is the Doctor Who podcast, but Wizard of Oz Lego, when did that come out? Was that real?
And Back to the Future LEGO.
Yeah, I've never heard of them before.
Interesting.
Interesting.
I've heard of Lord of the Rings LEGO.
Yeah, I've seen
Lego.
some of that around.
And DC Comics.
Hmm.
I've actually got Gandalf as a figure.
Have you?
Yeah.
So, any more news on
what do you think should be the first? What Lego figures do you think they'll be releasing?
I imagine they would do certainly the last 3 Doctors.
Yes.
I
I think they'll do Tom Baker as well.
Yeah, maybe actually. Yeah, maybe the last 3 and Tom Baker.
Maybe William Hartnell. Don't know.
I don't think they will.
No.
I think probably the only classic one would be Tom Baker, probably.
Yes.
K9 maybe.
Yeah, K9. They'll definitely. There's a picture of K9.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Definitely.
They will do Clara, Amy,
Yeah.
maybe Rose.
Yeah.
I'll probably be. I mean, I imagine they'll do them in phases, won't they? Probably like they have with the Simpsons ones and things like that.
I'm just looking for more news.
I was going to say, yeah, surely the news isn't over already.
No, it isn't. I can find other features that we can look at. Should we look at this 10 most emotional episodes of New Who?
Okay.
So to fill in the time.
Okay.
I hope there's a new poll or some big news this week. Because on the 23rd of May last year, the first teaser trailer came out for
Is that right?
Series 8.
So
Yeah.
it should be, maybe this time next week we'll have something like that.
Yeah.
Some gossip. Fantastic.
So this person is Dolph Johnson.
Okay.
He says, before I start listing my 10 most emotional episodes of 21st century Doctor Who, I'd just like to make it very clear that this is my list, so there are bound to be omissions. There's one very big one at the moment that I'm sure many people will notice before I mention it. There are also some episodes that I found very emotional, but others may not because they did not feel as much of a connection to the characters. But let's begin the countdown. So number 10, they've got Day of the Doctor. Do you think this is an emotional episode?
I think no, until the end.
Oh, yes.
Because that bit, we've talked about it pretty much every episode, haven't we?
Yes.
But the Tom Baker bit at the end
Oh,
is very
yeah.
emotional.
That bit made you cry, didn't it, almost?
Yeah, it's lovely.
So
yes, I do see why that's coming in. In fact, that would probably be higher. I'd probably have it as the most emotional moment.
That is a lovely scene.
Yeah.
So
that's at number 10, was it?
Yeah. At number 9, they've got Angels Take Manhattan.
Okay.
Well,
yeah, I can see why. Yeah.
Because of if you haven't watched it,
Mm-hmm.
you probably all know about it. Amy and Rory's death.
Yeah, I think you can give that one away. If you have anyway. What's the reasoning that he gives for that?
Let's read it. Let's read it. First of all, sorry this is only at number 9. Or you're welcome, whatever your opinion is. This episode is incredibly emotional throughout, and there are many scenes I could name that were extremely emotional for me, and many others. But the scene that really stuck out to me was Amelia's last farewell. Sure, it may have been cheesy and overdone a tad, but it was emotional all the same. The tired sound of Karen Gillan's voice perfectly matches the words that are being said, and Matt Smith's reaction is very real, and I would imagine mirrors his true feelings for losing two friends that he had been filming with for 3 years.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I agree about that. What's number 8?
Girl in the Fireplace.
Okay.
Do you want me to?
Yes. Read that one as well. Yeah, and then we
Okay.
can perhaps comment on it.
No, I'll read them all because we've got a slow news week this week. So.
Okay.
This episode was incredibly sad. Oddly, I think that it is slightly absurd that the Doctor apparently falls in love with Renette over the span of only a couple of hours from his perspective. But the reason this episode is so emotional to me is not actually a connection with the relationship between the Doctor and Madame de Pompadour, but rather it is because of the way that the Doctor responds to his grief at the end. It's very, very similar to how I deal with my own emotions. The Doctor hides his sadness from Rose and Mickey by saying that he's always all right, and then reads the letter to himself somberly, but not crying. In a way, that reminds me a great deal of myself, which makes the moment all the more powerful.
Quite right, that is a really emotional bit at the end, actually.
I know.
Yeah, really, really good bit.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I found, I mean, a lot of people, one of their favourites, isn't it?
Yes,
Episodes.
it is.
And I really like it as well, but it's one where I found probably David Tennant at his most annoying.
Popish.
Yes.
We say that every episode.
But I found his portrayal of the Doctor quite annoying in that episode, but I did like that bit at the end, very much so.
Yes.
And I really enjoyed the episode, actually, but yeah. Mainly thoughts.
The end bit was probably the best bit.
Yeah. And the robots were cool.
Oh yeah, the clockwork droids. Yeah, they were good. Okay.
Was that 7?
7. The Pandora opens.
Okay.
This is a two-parter that perhaps isn't really known for its emotional moments, but it's incredibly emotional all the same. The moment that makes the story so emotional is, of course, the Doctor's rewind. When he arrives in young Amelia's bedroom, it is an amazing example of Matt Smith's incredible talent as an actor, and should have banished all doubts that he was too young for the part. The look on his face is that of a tired old man who knows he is going to die soon, and he is ready. Actually, he's about to be erased from time, but it's the same idea. The other emotional scene from this episode is the wedding scene, but in a completely different way. The scene is incredibly happy and uplifting, looking towards the future, and it really is beautiful.
The thing is, I can see I appreciate the comments that are made there, but there's no way that is more emotional than any of the previous ones.
No.
I would suggest.
No.
Personally.
The next one, I would actually say would be number 1 in my list.
Okay.
And you probably know what this is.
Can I guess what it is?
Yeah.
Is it Vincent?
Yeah.
I
don't think there is much more I can say about this episode. You all know which scene makes this episode so emotional, and Tony Curran absolutely nails the Dutch painter's reaction to this lasting impression on the world and the history of art itself. This was an incredible episode.
Yeah, that was a really good one, and it is a brilliant end scene, isn't it? Brilliant end scene.
Oh yeah, that one for me would be number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Would it?
Well, off the top of I have the ones we've had so far. That or the Day of the Doctor, one of the two.
Yeah, it's quite hard because they're both quite emotional.
Having said that, I haven't seen what the next 5 are.
No, I know.
The next 4, however many we've got left.
5. Yeah.
Right, okay.
Do you want to read some of them?
You can carry on if you want.
Oh yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll read some. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. So the 10 most emotional episodes from New Who Part 2. It's in 2 separate articles.
So what kicks off Part 2?
5. This is the only one so far that you haven't seen.
Okay.
Turn left.
Okay.
It is pretty darn difficult to beat Vincent and the Doctor in terms of emotion. but these next 5 episodes did it for me. Turn Left is an episode based around a rather horrific idea. What if all the aliens from the Doctor Who universe were real, but the Doctor wasn't around to stop them? What would happen to Earth? The answer is that it would become an incredibly dark and dystopian society that resorted to establishing labour camps to keep the peace and try to put their world back together. Only Donna Noble can return things to normal. This episode leads Donna to an emotional climax in which she realises that she is important and that she matters, which ends up setting us all up for some heartbreak later. Oh yeah. Oh, I think I know what's going to be number 1.
Okay, well, I mean, the thing is, to me, and I know I moan about Donna quite regularly, but I just can't see anything with Donna being emotional. I mean, if somebody come up on and shot Donna, I would have found I would have a little smirk and a cheer, and probably would have got out the party poppers.
The only thing that's emotional
Yeah.
about Donna is that I sometimes cry because she's so annoying.
Sorry.
But Turn Left is a very good idea,
Mhm.
and you should watch that one.
Hopefully, who knows? Maybe it'll come out on the randomizer.
We don't know.
today.
We don't know.
You don't know.
Could be anything. 4. Now we had this one on the background earlier.
Okay.
End of Time.
Okay.
One of the more divisive episodes of the new series, and it is divisive even in my own mind. Certain parts of this episode dragged, like the farewell tour, like we said earlier. But it was all worth it for me, to me, for one of the best emotional scenes ever, when Wilf knocks 4 horrible times on the glass. David Tennant could perfectly portrays the Doctor's frustration with the irony of the situation, and his final decision to let Wilf go free gets me every time. It is a beautiful piece of writing, but Tennant and Bernard Cribbins bring it to a whole new level.
Now, see, the funny thing about that is, because as you say, we saw a bit of that episode earlier on. I actually found the Doctor a little bit selfish in that one. I thought, I don't know, I didn't necessarily find that emotional. I found him a little bit arrogant himself.
I know, I agree, but I think that was David Tennant at one of his best moments.
Yeah.
I like how he reacts.
Yeah.
But I feel sorry for Will.
Yeah, no, indeed. There was some very nice sentimental bits within that area, though, and some entertaining bits. I like the bit when he turns up in the sort of canteen like bit from Star Wars, you know, with Captain Jack there. But well, I wouldn't necessarily say that was emotional, but yeah, no, I like that bit. Anyway, what's next? 3 are we on?
Yes. Oh, I thought this would be at number 1.
Ah,
Okay, so Stolen Earth, Journey's End.
okay.
My least favourite finale for so many reasons. The Stolen Earth, Journey's End is nevertheless packed with emotion. When I first watched, this might have some spoilers, but it will be. Do you know what happens to them?
I vaguely know.
Okay.
Yeah.
When I first watched the triumphant scene of flying the Earth back home, I knew that the episode was setting us up for something awful in the next 15 minutes, and I was right. First of all, the character development of Donna Noble is completely and utterly destroyed, leaving her revelation at the end of Turn Left completely forgotten, and she returns to a state of self-depreciation.
Deprecation.
Yeah. That was so heartbreaking to watch in the previous episode. But then it only gets worse as we realise that the Doctor is now completely alone. When Wilf promised to look up at the stars to remember the Doctor for Donna, he officially became my favourite companion of all time, and his message is so meaningful because everyone needs someone looking out at the stars and wondering where they are.
What do you? A lot of people don't seem to like Stolen Earth, do they?
It's a good one in my opinion. I don't know why people don't like it.
Yeah. I can't really comment. So maybe one day it will come up in the randomizer and we shall see.
Next one's quite emotional.
Number 2, yeah.
Girl Who Waited.
Okay. Actually, yeah, I can see where this is coming from, yeah.
This is not an episode about an alien world or invasion. This is not even an episode about the Doctor, or at least not as the protagonist. This is an episode about Amy and Rory and one heartbreaking decision. Which wife does Rory choose? And it is so heartbreaking to watch the older Amy locked outside the TARDIS, not allowed to come in, while Rory listens to her final words. It is without a doubt, in my mind, the best performance from Mark Darville and Karen Gillan. And I was left looking stunned at ITV screen until the music in the Next Time trailer for the God Complex came on and slapped me out of it. The episode was incredible.
Yeah, no, I think it's not one of my favourite episodes, but that bit is really powerful. That's one I'd like to watch again, actually.
Okay.
Finally, number 1.
Time for Doctor.
Time for Doctor. Yeah, I can see where they're coming from here.
Yeah. I'm sure I will get the same position for this one. And I have to say, I'm sorry to anyone who is expecting Army of Ghosts Doomsday. This episode is very personally emotional to me because 11 is my Doctor. He's the first Doctor I really ever watched, and also the Doctor I felt the strongest connection to. And this episode was all about his character. As was mentioned at the very beginning of his run, 11 can't bear to watch children cry. I believe that's what he says in The Town of Christmas. He is such a genuinely good character for so much of his era, and it's heartbreaking to see this come through and cause his regeneration. With the TARDIS this whole episode, I just wanted him to run away from Christmas with the TARDIS and just let Trenzalore get blown apart. But he never did, and that's why this episode was so emotional for me. Once again, I'm sorry if some of your most emotional episodes weren't mentioned, and many of these episodes, especially Time, won't be emotional for you if you don't have the same connection to the stories and characters as I do. But I'm sure everyone can find something in each of these episodes that causes at least a little bit of emotion.
If you were to say what your top 3 most emotional moments were, what would they be?
Well, the Vincent bit would be in there. The Tom Baker bit would be in there.
Yeah.
And probably the bit when Amy and Rory die.
So I think those would be my 3 as well. I think they would. Which is interesting because all 3 of those were in his top, the 5 to 10, weren't they? They were always all in the lower half. But...
What did I say again? It was the Tom Baker, the Vincent, and the
Amy and Rory Angels Take Manhattan.
They're all from Matt Smith.
Yeah. I think that's probably another reason, because I find him a bit more emotional.
Yes.
So, any more news?
No.
That's it, is it?
Should we have some quick fun facts?
Okay, that's a good timing because I do need to actually prepare some of our feast.
Okay.
So, yes, I shall leave you telling fun facts to the listeners.
Go on. So, fun facts is a new section which we're going to do every week, and we're going to tell you some facts you may not have known about Doctor Who history. So Wendy Padbury inspired Matt Smith to go to be the Doctor as his agent, and she was his agent. And Wendy Padbury, as you may know, played Zoe Harriet from Wheel in Space to the War Games. The War Games, talking about that, is the 50th story, which is the last story of Patrick Troughton. Stephen Moffat has written 33 stories. Genesis of the Cybermen was meant to be a Series 19 episode, but was never made. Oh, interesting. Colin Baker and Peter Capaldi are the only Doctors to have appeared in episodes as other characters, as Peter Capaldi appeared in Fires of Pompeii as Sicilius, and Colin Baker appeared as Commander Maxil in the Ark of Infinity.
Can I
And
just correct that statement?
Yeah.
What about
Tom Baker.
Tom Baker?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
but we don't know about that.
But we don't know, he could be the Doctor.
He could be. Those are the only ones that are known to be other people, other characters. And finally, you never see the Master's TARDIS in New Who so far.
Fun facts.
Yes, or some interesting
Yeah.
facts maybe.
Do you know, I've got an idea for an article for the future.
Yeah.
Which is links, where we pick up on things in Who that are linked to each other.
Yeah.
Can be quite interesting, couldn't it? Well, we'll see. Maybe if we've got some time one day, we'll think that one through.
Yes, we'll think that one through.
What's next, mate?
So it's just my tenure.
Just my tenure. Okay. So, Judge My Tenure. Explain, sir. Explain what it means.
Well, what we do is we take it in terms. We go through the history of Doctor Who.
Chronologically.
Yeah, looking at the Doctors in chronological order, and we pick out their good points, their bad points, and we ask questions about their era, about the monsters, companions, how they could have been improved, the scripts maybe, the quality of the scripts, and lots more. So.
Okay, so this time we're on.
Sylvester McCoy, who is the 7th Doctor. Do you want to start with a good thing?
Do you know what I think the best thing about Sylvester McCoy is? Sylvester McCoy.
Okay.
I think actually he had a lot of great Doctor attributes.
Yeah.
I think if he'd been at a different stage in Doctor Who's history, he would have been a real popular Doctor. Unfortunately, he was in the 80s. What do you think? What do you really like? What do you think is a good point?
Now, he's my least favourite Doctor, but that's not a good point.
Is he your least favourite Doctor, or is he in your least favourite period of Doctor Who?
Both.
Yeah.
I know. This is only because his quality of acting in his first series isn't as good, and that lets all of the second and third series down, and also Greatest Show in the Galaxy lets it down. So my good things. He's a very good Doctor because he's got a sort of gothic edge to him in the later stories, like Curse of Fenric, when he's revealing something to Ace, but I won't tell you.
Okay.
Something. Yeah, but he's just the way he talks, his tone of voice when he's gothic is quite good, and that's the best time when he's angry and he's sort of more dark than usual.
What do you think about his costume?
Question marks.
Yeah, the funny thing about it is, I think it's cheesy, but I sort of like it. It's very 80s.
Yes, it is very 80s.
It's probably reminiscent of a lot of the things I don't like about 80s Who, but I don't know, it actually works. I would I'd buy an umbrella with a question mark on it.
It fits him, I think.
Yeah.
As we said last week, Colin Baker's costume definitely doesn't fit him, but you can see our discussion on his costume in last week's show, which was called Changed. Not a Moment Too Soon. Yeah.
So, bad points.
His episodes, most of them.
Yeah, I think I agree completely. I agree completely.
There are a few exceptions.
So you say, I've not seen them.
Well.
No, actually, I saw a bit of the Dalek one. What's that called?
Remembrance.
Remembrance. That actually I quite enjoyed.
and it's like 10th in the listings of dorms.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that. None of the Sylvester McCoy stories would be in my top 10.
Certainly, you look at I don't know. There's some of them are just plain awful, aren't they?
I know.
That clip that we watched the other week on a Sunday.
That was terrible.
What was it? Was it Doubter and the Bannerman? Was it?
Yes.
I mean that just if I turned the telly on and that came on, I'd turn over immediately.
Yeah.
It was just cringeworthy, wasn't it?
And I think that's the beginning. I mean, that wouldn't make you want to watch it. Well, imagine a trailer. It'd be really rubbish. It'd be like, pew pew. Let's win some bingo with Ken Dodd.
It was just cringeworthy, wasn't it?
Yeah, I know.
I can't remember how long that clip was. It was about, let's say it was a minute.
Minute or two, yeah.
In 1 minute, you realised why it was that they cancelled Doctor Who.
That was the reason.
That was the reason.
That series, and
but, it was barely watchable. It wasn't watchable. I only watched it because you'd asked me to. The reason was because that episode is probably the only episode in Doctor Who history that I haven't watched a clip from. Okay, yeah. And I bet you won't watch any more clips from it.
Luckily there's not any more on the Doctor Who YouTube channel, but there might be on BBC Classic Doctor Who. So
if I was going to say to you then, I was going to ask you a question here. If somebody came up to you and said, I need to watch something of the 7th Doctor, can you tell me 2 episodes I should watch and 2 episodes I should avoid?
So my top 2 episodes.
Yes. And then your least 2.
My top 2 episodes are the Curse of Penric, which is an obvious choice.
Which does look good, yeah.
And Remembrance of the Daleks.
Okay. Yeah.
And then
and that's probably a popular opinion, actually, isn't it? I'd imagine if you were to look down the poll, they're probably the top 2, aren't they?
Yeah. No. 2. This struggles me because I haven't seen all of them.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing that makes me realise how poor the first 2 series with Sylvester McCoy is, because you've not even bothered trying to watch them, and you love Doctor Who.
Can I say what? I know Greatest Show in the Galaxy is one. Some people may disagree, but there are a lot of people which are on my side with that, and they hate that story. But there are a lot of people which aren't on my side with that.
The weird thing about that was we watched the trailer for Greatest Show in the Galaxy, and it looked really good, actually, didn't it?
But it isn't. Right. I thought it looked better than the actual episode, but they did things to the trailer, so it looked. They did like effects on the trailer, which made it look better than it did.
Yeah.
And I think the other one that looks the worst is Doubter the Bannerman. And I know all of his first series looks terrible.
Yeah.
Paradise Towers. Dragonfire looks like the best in his first series.
What's the one with Candyman
in? Happiness Patrol.
Because I like that a bit just because of Candyman, but it's rubbish, really.
I know it is.
Isn't it? It's not a great episode, really, but it's just I don't know. I think it's because I just remember the Bertie Bassett character from when I was growing up, and it makes it bearable, but it's appalling, really, isn't it?
I think that in the Dawn poll, correct me if I'm wrong, that Doubter and the Bannerman was the highest ranked story from Sylvester McCoy's first series.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay. Who knows how that happened? Who knows?
I don't think most of that poll's right.
What about if we move on to companions?
Oh yeah. Okay.
Who did we have as companions?
Only Mel and Ace, but we've had some which could have been companions, but I'm not naming those.
What do you make of Ace? Because she's far more of a action-packed companion, more along the lines of what we'd seen previously with Leela, but obviously a sort of like a scuzzy human version.
Yes.
What about Mel?
No. We chatted a bit about this last week, but we're chatting about it even more now. Now,
How many series is she in?
She's in the last 2 segments of Trial of a Time Lord and Sylvester McCoy's first series.
Okay, so it probably
So
sums
1
up
and a bit.
why it is that such bad first series, isn't it? Episodes
And
are
she's
bad.
joining EastEnders.
Companions are bad.
Oh no.
Unbearable.
Oh.
She's got one of these voices that could exterminate somebody quicker than a Dalek.
I know. It's. She's the worst companion I've seen. Now there are only 2 companions that I haven't seen, Vicky and Stephen. But I've seen them in clips and they look good.
Yeah.
But definitely Mel's my least favourite.
I still, I don't think you can necessarily blame Bonnie Langford and you can't blame Sylvester McCoy. It's just they're very bad episodes, and if you give somebody dodgy material, you could give dodgy material to John Gielgud, and it would have been rubbish, What about monsters? Best monsters that we saw.
I know Candyman will be behind yours.
Yeah, but just because it's quite cute.
Hemovores were behind this.
Mm-hmm. That's the Kes Fenwick one, yeah?
Yeah. Cheetah people are quite cool.
Mm-hmm.
And let's pick out one more. It's not particularly a bad guy, but it's a monster. Nemesis.
Okay.
From Silver Nemesis. It's the one with the Cybermen, but there's Nemesis as well, which is the statue.
Okay.
It's a cool design.
What about then? Probably a final piece on this article.
Okay.
Yeah. Survival was the last Who episode before it was taken off the air by BBC. Have you watched it?
A bit of it.
You've not seen all of it?
I've seen the first 2 parts.
Yeah.
I never got round to watching the 3rd part.
Okay, I was going to ask you whether you thought it was a fitting end to
it was
the classic.
I might have watched the last part, but it was a long time ago. But I think I watched it all, but definitely what I saw of it, it was really good.
Okay.
It was exciting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I suppose so. But yeah, I think when they writ that script, they didn't know it was going to end, but they writ a bit on the end, the Ace, we've got work to do bit, because they discovered that they weren't going to do it anymore.
I see. I'll tell you what would be interesting. We sometimes refer to the Big Finish productions, even though we don't really know too much about them. We've never listened to them. But it would be interesting to listen to some Sylvester McCoy Big Finish episodes. And I'd imagine they would be really good. And I think, as I said, I think he's a really good Doctor. I just think he was given duff material.
Yeah. Definitely in his first series.
Yeah.
Not with Curse of Fenwick or Remembrance or Survival.
But it's not just the stories, it's just the whole thing with 82. Just the effects are really tacky, aren't they?
They are.
And there's just this really horrible comedy edge that they tried to put on it.
You just feel like it's 80s.
So, that's Judge My Tenure.
Yes.
Next week, a slightly different angle to Judge My Tenure.
Yeah, we've got 2 Doctors we're reviewing. We're reviewing both the 8th Doctor, played by Paul McGann, and the War Doctor, played by John Hurt, because they've only been in it for 1 episode each. Well, 1 full episode each, and little mini-sodes.
Okay.
But yeah, so we've got them in the same show.
Fantastic. So we'll look forward to that. Judge My Tenure last week. Yeah. What's the next week? Not last week. We don't have a time machine. What's up next, Sarah?
Up next we have our review of the Shakespeare Code.
Okay, so the Shakespeare Code was selected by the magical randomizer. Ooh, the spreadsheet of every episode of Who. When we press the magic macro button, it randomly picks an episode which we then view and talk about for your enjoyment. So,
Okay.
how are we going to play this?
So,
Did you want me to give a quick recap, or are you going to?
yeah, you can do.
I'll keep it very brief.
Please. Just don't spoil them.
No. Basically, this is the 10th Doctor, David Tennant. 10th Doctor, David Tennant.
Yes.
Good. And he's got Martha Jones with him. He's sort of showing off, really, isn't he? Do you think he decides to take her back in time, show off a bit, and they end up in the Elizabethan period, and they find themselves near the Globe, and they go to watch a play by one William Shakespeare. And it's basically, the episode is based around witchcraft, isn't it?
Yes.
But it's explaining that witchcraft isn't really witchcraft. Witchcraft is actually an alien thing,
Yes.
which the Carrionites do. So they look like witches. They fly broomsticks like witches. I'm sure they smell like witches, but essentially they're aliens. And it's a fairly enjoyable, watchable episode, I'd say. What's your comments on the episode?
I've watched this a few times before, and I know you've watched it with me before. Yeah, it's a very interesting story. Martha's first trip off of her normal London.
Yeah.
But it's just an exciting, enjoyable adventure with some funny moments and some exciting moments. And it's Gareth Roberts' first script. He read Unicorn and the Wasp, Planet of the Dead, The Lodger, Closing Time, and The Caretaker. Okay. This one's a very different one than his 11th and 12th Doctor ones.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Do you? I was thinking to myself that if I was Martha, I would punch the Doctor in the face, because he seems to have this thing. I mean, I know he's coming up relatively fresh off the back of losing Rose, who was obviously the love of his life. But he's really harsh with her, I think, and treats her as if she's sort of second mate. What I do think as well, though, and we'll probably get onto this a little bit when we get to David Tennant in Judge My Tenure in a few weeks' time, but I'm always complaining about the foppishness of Tennant's Doctor. I think he works at his best with Martha Jones.
Yes.
Because with Donna and the 10th Doctor, it's just all too jokey, japey, slapsticky, 80s-ish. You know, you could quite easily have had that sort of feel of that Sylvester McCoy era Doctor, if you'd put them back in that time. Whereas with Martha, she's a completely different character, far more down to earth, and I think that works far better. You've only really got one eccentric, annoying character. What do you make of the villains?
Oh yeah, they're great villains.
Yeah.
They look cool when they're witches.
Yeah.
They look quite scary and ugly, which witches are meant to be, and they act like witches.
They do, yeah.
As you said, they smell like witches. They do witch stuff.
They do witchy things. Where would you rank this episode in comparison? Because I mean, obviously we've done 20 randomizer stories so far.
I'll just look at randomizer. You placed it.
So it's out of 20.
You placed it 9th, and I placed it 13th.
Okay, so I've said it's one of. It's in the top half of the 20 we've watched.
That surprises me.
Yeah, I did enjoy it though. I found it very watchable. That's what it was. It's do you know that if I was to say the thing I didn't like about it, I'm not sure I really liked William Shakespeare that much.
Yeah.
He's not how I picture William Shakespeare.
No, neither was I.
And I know that's
His
part of the
clothes
point.
as well.
Yeah.
I just don't think it fits the other people's.
Yeah. I just found him a little bit un-Shakespearean.
Yes.
But I enjoyed it. It was a really easy to watch
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
So character development.
0.
Yeah, David Tennant is very arrogant,
Mm.
if you like he was in End of Time earlier.
Yeah. No, I 0 though. I was only really joking. I think it's very good from Martha's perspective.
Yeah, it is.
I think I'd still give it quite a low character development score, probably about 6.
Monsters, the Carrier Knights.
They were good 7.5, I'd say.
Yeah, they are good witch-like villains.
Yeah. The ending with them is really good.
Yeah.
So I won't explain that, but
we won't spoil it just in case you're planning to watch it. It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
And iTunes.
Yeah.
Excitement.
I think it's quite a good pace to the episode, I think, in general.
Don't do pace yet.
Oh, is that next?
Yes, that's
Okay.
next.
In that case, excitement, I should give 7.
Yeah, okay. And pace.
Very well paced. I'd probably give it a 9 for pace, actually, because it's really, really good pace to it.
Overall.
Overall, I'm going to give it a 7.5.
Yes.
What do you say to that?
Yeah, about
that.
right, yeah.
Okay. So if you want a 7.5-ish type episode to watch, with a great pacey story but not particularly good William Shakespeare in it, we recommend.
And if you want a story which is marked 10, it's last week's story, Genesis of the Daleks.
Yeah, definitely.
That was a great one, but see last week for our review on that.
But I think it was an enjoyable episode.
Yes, it was.
I definitely enjoyed it. I enjoyed it probably more this time round than when we watched it a couple of years ago. Perhaps.
Yeah, I think it was a couple of years ago.
So that moves us on to the randomizer.
Oh, yes.
So this is, as we said earlier on, spreadsheet containing every episode of Doctor Who, macro in it. So basically when we click the magic button, it will randomly pick one of those episodes for us to watch during next week. And we will then report back on our thoughts on it on next Saturday's show.
There's 253 episodes it could be, or stories it could be.
So we'll press it, unless it comes up with one we've already seen.
Or Marco Polo,
or one that
because that one was lost.
Yeah. So other than that, or if it's got a bit that you find scary. So let's press the magic button.
Okay.
So what is it?
Yeah. It's Colony in Space.
So what is it?
It's a John Pertwee story.
Okay, well, we've not had a John Pertwee.
No, we haven't.
So that's good.
That's good.
Who's in Colony in Space?
What do you mean?
It's
Joe.
Mm-hmm.
The Master's in it.
Okay. Good. You've got it, yeah?
Yes, I've got it. It's at home, so we can. It's a 6-parter.
Okay, so
2 weeks.
It'll be a 2-week one.
Yeah,
so,
2-week one.
No randomizer next week then.
No randomizer. But there's been 2 6-parters in a relatively short amount of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're really looking forward to that. So we'll report back on Colony in Space a bit next week and then give a full roundup the week after.
Yes, another classic episode. And I wanted to see your views on that one, but I want to see your views on Diamonds the most, but one episode off.
Excellent.
Oh.
Okay. So the final section of the show, I think.
Yes, Who to Face.
So do you want to explain Who to Face?
Now, every 2 weeks we do Who to Face, which is a sort of thing where we have, it's sort of a randomizer again, but there's a randomizer for the Doctor and there's a randomizer for the monster, and we click it and it chooses what Doctor should be in it and what monster should be in it, and then we have to come up with a good idea for a story, both of us, about how the story could contain that monster and that and that Doctor, and we could make up a new companion if it's the 8th Doctor, or a new old companion if it's not. Should I press it?
Yes, press it. I'll be back there in a minute.
Okay, so let's try and press it. Who to Face. Right. Right, okay. This is an interesting one. Okay?
Okay.
It's the Atraxi and it's the 10th Doctor. Okay, so this is going to be quite an interesting one. Should I start it off?
Yep, you start.
So,
Actually, sorry, just rushing back to the microphone. For my benefit, just remind me who the Atraxi is, what episode they're in.
the 11th Hour.
11th Hour,
That was on
yeah.
in the background as well.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So,
We were watching the Shakespeare Code at that point.
Mhm.
Yeah.
so actually, it's the one that the 10th Doctor would have faced if he'd carried on for an extra episode.
Yes.
Ooh. So, how do you want to
You
start?
started last time, so I better start this one.
Okay.
Okay, so the 10th Doctor and Martha, because
Mhm.
I don't want Donna or I don't want Rose, because they're foppish. Yes, so the Doctor and Martha land on a colony planet in the far future, and they find criminals have killed the Earth's, destroyed the Earth's crust and dug in it for more power and energy. But the Atraxi comes after them because they're like an intergalactic police. So they come after the criminals and they hunt them down. But the Doctor doesn't know that the actual thing that was destroying the Earth's crust was the Atraxi. And it sort of
Interesting.
betrays them.
Okay.
Okay. So what do you think about any
I like
questions
it, yeah.
about it?
No, it's good. I
Okay.
like it. Sounds quite
I
exciting.
don't know what it's going to be called now.
Well, you got to think of the name as well, haven't you?
Remember your first one was called Tricycle of Death.
I think it was only because
it was the
Sylvester
other
McCoy
week.
one,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
it was the other week. No, I think it's going to be called
Think so.
The Statement of the Prison or something.
Okay.
The Statement of the Atraxi.
Okay.
Or the Atraxi Prison. The Atraxi Prison, that should be it. The
Okay.
Atraxi Prison. Yes.
There we have it.
Your story.
Okay, my story is going to be called 4.
Okay.
Okay, and it's going to have the Doctor picking up on a distress signal. He's travelling he's on his own.
Okay.
So I'm thinking this is in the sort of period before the specials.
Yeah.
Okay. Travelling on his own, and he gets this distress signal, and it's coming from the moon, the colony on the moon. And when he arrives there's these ghost-like figures
Oh.
that actually look like Rose,
Ooh.
Martha, Donna, and Wilfred. Okay, so probably the sort of 4 main character.
Oh, do you think it's Mickey or Wilfred?
I'm going to go for Wilfred.
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
And basically, what it would take, I'll have loads of gump in between it, which I haven't really worked out. But basically, it's the Atraxi's way of pulling the Doctor to the moon to confront him. And it's called 4 because it's got these 4 companions in it. So that's fine.
How many parts would it be? 1?
One part.
Mine would be 1 as well.
Probably it's a special, so it's quite a long.
Well, it wouldn't be a special. It would be at the time of Martha.
Mhm.
So.
Yeah.
Mm.
1 part of you.
Yes.
What do you
If Martha
have
was in
interest?
another series.
What do you make of the Atraxi as enemies? Do you like them? We've only seen the once, haven't we?
Yes, and they're mentioned that they're there in Pandora Opens.
Okay.
But yeah, they're quite good. They're quite cool looking.
Yeah.
Do you think they're underused?
not underused. It wouldn't surprise me if they do come back at some point or other. But I think they've got that sort of a very occasional sort of feel about them to me.
Or one-off films.
Yeah, maybe one-off villains.
Yes.
But I'd certainly say they could potentially come back at some
Yes,
point.
they could.
Yeah. So
Is that the end?
I think that brings us
Yes,
to the close
I
of
think that's the
Who
end.
to Face.
So, should we talk about next time?
What do we have on next week?
So we have our judged by tenure on both the 8th Doctor and the War Doctor.
Okay, we have our usual amount of news from the universe.
We have our well, we probably won't have much news next week.
You don't
but
think
we
so?
might.
We might do.
We will have our quiz or question.
We will. We shall be talking a little bit about Colony in Space.
Oh yeah, parts
Parts
1
to 3.
Yeah.
And possibly a few fun facts, maybe?
Yes, a few fun facts. But we won't press the randomizer next
No
week.
randomizer. Sorry,
Oh.
folks. No randomizer next week. Thanks so much for listening.
Thank you.
We'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week. Bye.